Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the ASUS ROG DreamLeague Season 3. We're ready to get ourselves into the second game of the first series between NIP and VP Polar, myself and Dreskel. And while the draft is well underway, NIP, first two picks, they still grab themselves the Gyro, but they do get that Gyro-Rubik combo. Now obviously Gyro has been slightly nerfed. It's, I guess it works about a 25% damage reduction. It's kind of gone from 11 damage to 8 damage, I believe, at level 1. So still a pretty scary hero in your eyes?
Yeah, I mean, the damage is still there. You have to consider, even before the nerf, he was the highest single target damage hero pretty much in the game, like at level 1, right? You walk in, you're on barrage, boom. So even that getting nerfed by 25%, it's still very, very high kill potential. And you also have to consider call down is still fantastic teamfight utility in the mid game. Even just a value point and a homing missile can be great. Flat cannon scales with the late game, probably better than like any other ability besides maybe split shot if you're just looking for AoE damage. There's a lot of benefits to picking the hero, and Rubik is one of the best partners with Gyrocopter in the first place, so definitely glad to see NIP picking something maybe a little bit more stable than what they had in the last draft. And I do want to say that draft losses are some of the most difficult losses to watch, but they're also some of the easiest to come back from, because you can just be like, oh yeah, well, that was dumb. We drafted like a bad team, you know, it's not a big deal. We'll get into the next game. We'll pick something better and we'll play better. So I think that it's very easy for a team like NIP, who has a good amount of experience, to bounce back from just having one of those really, really big drafting mistakes and just say, okay, we can go 1-1 now. So I'm not going to take all my faith away from them. I'm going to say they can still pull it out. At VP Polar, though, they're actually going to get their hands on two heroes that NIP ran in the first game. They're going to get the Leshrac and the Bristleback together, and Winter Wyvern, who is one that I don't really get to see a whole heck of a lot, and I'm interested to see how they play it. But I will say that against Gyro, I think it's amazing, because you have insane range. You just harass during the laning phase. If you want to try to go aggro or something, you can with what VP have, even against Rubik Gyro, because the Winter Wyvern harass is so obscene. And plus you also have that amazing healing potential on Bristleback during the mid game, and you have a very tanky hero. And again, the key here is the Bristleback is being picked into heroes who are not extremely mobile. There's no Queen, there's no Weaver, there's nothing that can run away. It's just Rubik, Lina, Gyro. You can chase all those heroes down.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it's indeed, as you said, but definitely a stronger lineup from NIP in comparison to what VP have as compared to what we saw in the first game. And the bans out from both sides, we see VP Polar themselves, they ban out the AA, obviously hero that they ran in the first game.
Yep.
Arguably it wasn't too impactful because it didn't really need to be. I mean,
FNG
there was like one Ice Blast, I think.
Threw one Ice Blast the whole game, and he was level 6 when the game was over.
Yeah.
And everyone else on his team was like level 10 plus. So yeah.
I mean, it didn't matter because they still won. They just didn't need him to do anything.
He won the game for his team by his draft. He didn't have to perform in the game itself.
It was the draft,
Yeah, it was very nice. But the bans in the second phase for VP kind of point out, okay, we're taking away the Ancient Apparition because Bristleback is obviously one of those heroes that wants to tank up really hard. It's very good to have AA against those types of teams in the first place, and also Cold Embrace is a heal, and Ancient Apparition Ice Blast does stop it. So if you want to try to go for like any mech carrier a little bit later on for VP, and you want to just have this kind of 5-man non-stop push, it can be pretty scary.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, as you said, with Cold Embrace especially, it's kind of like, we're going to sit this hero here, so if you want to throw an Ice Blast, go for it. Can very easily be used against them, and this time was banned out against them in the first draft. VP Polar are able to get the Phobos Bounty Hunter.
This is pretty scary territory if you're NIP. Now, we don't know if this Lina is going to be played in mid or if it's just going to be played as a support, because Gyro Rubik is already good enough of a dual lane on its own to where I think NIP could afford to just run the Lina in that core position. But if it's not, then you're looking at a double stun against Bounty, in which case he will have a very hard time getting anything out of his lane, if that's the lane that happens. But I think FNG knows that Lina is not going to be in a support capacity and will probably end up being a core for NIP.
Okay, well maybe things will be a little bit clearer now with this fourth pick for the side of NIP, and we'll see what they do decide to opt for here. We're still imagining to see them pick up that offlaner and indeed the possibility of a mid laner or a support, depending on where they want to place that Lina on the map. From the side of VP Polar, obviously in the first game we saw NIP, they popped the Leshrac in the mid lane. Do you think that's something we could be seeing here, or potential dual lane mid again? I mean, could you put the Wyvern mid with the Lesh, and you know, obviously have the Bristleback and Bounty Hunter kind of solo that? I mean, how do you run this on VP Polar?
I think they're going to last pick their mid for VP. That's my guess. I think they'll probably just put the Bounty Hunter off lane solo. Maybe have the Leshrac or the Winter Wyvern soak pulls. There is also the opportunity for them to go aggressive with the Bristleback, the Wyvern, and the Leshrac. And after having seen a puck pick from NIP, it leads me more to believe that this is going to be a support Lina. So it's not going to be a core.
Okay.
Unless they're going to run, I think Gyrocopter will be a core for sure. And then Rubik Lina support, and then either mid or off lane puck. I guess they could still put Lina mid, technically. You could, and you could just put the puck off lane.
Okay, well, VP Pilot, they ban out the Darks here, so they're anticipating that it is going to be a Lina support, and they obviously still need to pick up their off lane at the side of Ninjas in Pyjamas. And Darkseer, indeed, one of those heroes that we've seen a lot more recently, and for a lot of good reasons.
Very good at punishing any sort of greedy lane. Really frustrating to play against as any melee farmer as well. So Bristleback, obviously being melee. And VP are actually going to last pick Treant Protector, which makes the AA ban and the Darkseer ban make a heck of a lot more sense. Because Ion Shell not only destroys the hero in general, but having AA Ice Blast against that in conjunction means that you can't even heal with the armor in the first place, gets eaten very quickly. And instead, it's just going to be some armor being cast on this Bristleback, and he's going to go ham. And I think we may end up seeing another farming Leshrac here in Game 2.
And in that case, putting the Leshrac in the mid again? Or
it could be safe lane with Treant and Leshrac safe lane, and then Winter Wyvern Bristleback either mid, or you can interchange the lanes. I think the only reason they would put the Treant and Lesh in the safe lane is because Treant needs the levels, and he needs to be able to soak pulls, where Wyvern, you pretty much only need 6. But having level 7 quickly on Tree means that the max level of living armor is ridiculous. Like the cooldown goes down like 8 seconds per rank. It's very strong. And then you have 2 very good dual lanes, and then the Bounty Hunter in the off lane.
Well, we'll see what they decide to pick up NIP on their final pick now. And also worth noting, VP Polar's team fight is going to be pretty spectacular. Of course, with Winter Wyvern with the Winter's Curse, and then following that up with the Overgrowth, you're holding NIP in place for a pretty long time.
Yeah, their team fight is very good, but their damage is not as bursty as NIP's. So you have like Call Down, Fade Bolt, double nuke from Lina, Puck with Coil, another double nuke, and now an Axe. So NIP do also have very, very good fighting potential, and Axe is one of the best heroes, in my opinion, against Bristleback, because you make him face you. Like, he cannot turn his back if he's taunted, so you just like blow him up with a Lina Laguna Blade or something like that. But it does look like we're going to be seeing the Lina support with the Rubik. So maybe aggressive lane coming out here from NIP. We'll have to see.
We'll see indeed what they decide to draft in terms of the lanes as we get ourselves into the game here with the second match of the day between NIP and Virtus.Pro. Polar. So let's get straight into who's on what. On the side of VP, we're going to be having DK Phobos on his signature Bounty Hunter. It will be Lil this time playing up on the Winter Wyvern. FNG on his Treant Protector. Illidan on that position 1 Lesh, and looking to be G on the Bristleback, maybe wanting to up towards the mid lane, and indeed looking with his item build, it is going to be the mid lane Bristleback. Mighty Pixel, I'm here with Draskell, and Draskell seeing a bit of action from NIP straight up.
Yeah, they 5-man smoked here. Could also just be for a little bit of warding, but Seal Kid on the Rubik has started with boots, so he is going to be leading the charge here, possibly looking for that first blood. And then we're going to see Jonas is going to be playing Axe this game. We're going to see Limp playing on the Puck. Era is handling the Gyrocopter. And then finally, Hanskin is going to be playing the Lina. They catch Phobos. No, the stun missed. Hanskin was so far away because he didn't have boots compared to the Rubik, who also, he did have boots, and, well, you know the rest. Can't run that fast, history. Couldn't be in range to stun.
Indeed, indeed. Let's see what comes out in terms of lanes. The side of VP here. Look at this. Positioning themselves on the high ground. Era, don't walk into this. They're stunned. They're looking for it. Oh, it's going to be a full-on clash here. Here we go. The Leech Seed onto Era. VP, who are they going to go for? Light Strike Array catches both the Winter Wyvern and the Leshrac. Illidan turning his attention back towards the mid as Phobos covers in. A nice 2-man stun there. Hanskin getting low, but at the same time, Era's getting low. Hanskin will fall. Era's going to fall as well. It's 2 heroes down on the side of NIP. I think that is going to be it. But again, first blood there for Phobos. Bristleback picking up the kill on Gyrocopter. And we're into game 2, Andy, and it looks like it's going to be another very healthy start for VP from that.
That was not great for NIP. Their level 1 is good in the sense that they can find somebody if they're alone and kill them like immediately. And they almost had that by finding DK Phobos in the woods. But unfortunately, they didn't wait for their Lina to catch up. So when they had the telekinesis, there was no time to follow it up with a Light Strike Array because he wasn't in range. So they go back, they're trying to find their lanes, they run into VP and just end up dying. So I actually thought they were going to dual lane this, but they end up going for the aggro tri-lane. And it's just going to be farming Lesh, which we did expect the Lesh to farm. I just wasn't sure if they wanted to prioritize getting the Treant a little bit more experience, but a level 1 Leech Seed also does a heck of a lot of work. And I still feel like this aggro tri-lane is stronger than what NIP have because they lack the damage.
Let's see, a little head to the tree line and just harass back Sealkid. Now Arctic Burn, it's not too nice for the spots, especially at the earlier stages of the game, with that percentage burn damage at their max HP. It's always going to keep them low. It
has such a long cooldown though. Like it scales down in cooldown by 10 seconds per rank, but at level 1, you can use it like once every 2 creep waves. Not really that useful of a support in lane, I feel, for the very, very early stages, unless you're up against like one offlaner, and then you can be a nuisance by just right-clicking him. But her base damage is extremely low. She's one of the slowest heroes in the game, but fortunately for Lil, he's opted to get some boots a bit early here, and doesn't even have any regen left, so we'll continue to see how well VP's tri-lane does here.
Yeah, so obviously talking about the top tri lane, let's have a look at the bottom. We've got this 1v1 situation between Phobos and between Jonas and Fan. Now, obviously on the Axe, he's going to be able to make this, these creep skips happen, and in terms of CS, is just slightly leading it. It's pretty much bang on between these two heroes. I mean, this isn't the nicest lane for a bounty hunter, is it?
Well, it's not like he's going to die.
No.
And that's really the thing, is the Axe will free farm no matter what. And it looks like they've opted to also send Illidan down here instead. So they are going to be swapping up their lanes a tiny bit. Maybe not happy with the aggressive potential they had. So the lane's kind of going back and more to what I thought they would be in the first place. But maybe they just thought that their lane was stronger than it was. But honestly, level 1 Winter Wyvern is really not that good. So Phobos just doing some harass here.
Yeah, and now that Illidan's kind of turned up to this lane, he is obviously the position 1, and now you've got 2 cores in the same lane, so does Phobos look to roam elsewhere?
Yeah, he can just make his way towards top. At the moment, he's just letting FNG soak the experience, trying to get the tree some levels. Something that is very important is living armor against NIP is still very good, even with the gyrocopter, because if you're just deathballing mid-game, Rocket Barrage isn't going to eat a living armor that quickly.
Now, Axe is coming towards the mid lane with an Invis rune. There is a Radiant Observer down there, so G should have spotted it. He is fairly tanky, but maybe not tanky enough. They're bringing him low. Limp Orbs forward. There will be the living armor here, buying him some time with a rotation from Sealkid in there, trying to bring down the Bristleback. It's not quite enough. He heads past the tower. He's going to get away. The tower hits now, flying down onto Jonas and Van, and now comes your Arctic Burn for the Winter Wyvern. They'll chase down the Axe and pop the Berserker's Call, looking for that armor, and it looks like it will be enough to keep him alive. He heads towards the Dire Jungle, will be able to get himself out of there. Puck did go down in the mid lane though, so well, G was very lucky on the Bristleback to get himself out there. He's actually going to look to just deny himself to creeps because of the bounty hunter.
Okay. I was going to say, that would have been a total disaster if Phobos actually got that kill. But fortunately for NIP, they do not end up giving away another to the side of Virtus.Pro. But still, the fact that G didn't die there, like, come on. That's got to be like so disheartening to get that invis. G didn't even see him pick it up.
No, even though they had a ward there.
Yeah, that was actually pretty uncharacteristic of G to not have the awareness to back, but I don't know. NIP is not as in bad a shape, I would say, as they were in Game 1, even though the lanes are not going maybe as well as they had wanted them to. But they need to be careful not to give away too much, because VP's mid-game is ridiculous, especially when you start having to account for track gold as well. Like, Phobos is still halfway to, or a little bit under halfway to 5. And he's just going to start roaming around now and being a nuisance. And just having that 225 damage shuriken, like, you could just pop a puck very easily. If you just catch him, if he uses orb to farm or he uses a phase shift at a bad time, he's just dead. Or you could just gank top as well.
Indeed, and as we saw, NIP, they did switch the lanes back round in reaction with Jonas and Fan now here, and Error down now on the bottom on his gyrocopter looking for some farm up against the Wyvern and Leshrac dual lane. Outlander will get thrown down onto Phobos, but he's not too phased by that. And farm-wise, if you look at the two sides, Error is at the top of the board, but then it's followed up by both the Bristle and the Leshrac on the side of VP. And NIP, they've got Sealkid and Hanskin down on the Luna, the Lina and the Rubik, but they're not going to be finding kills. Top lane.
I think he's dead.
VP. Indeed, it looks like they might find a kill here. Jonas and Fan trying to weed himself through the trees, but there's an even scarier tree after him here as FNG, DK, Phobos look to get the final few punches. It's all very nice, but it's not enough at the end of the day. And Phobos on a killing spree on his bounty hunter, 5 minutes in. Oh, hang on.
And yeah, bottom lane, they also lose the gyro as well. It looks like Hansken was not in the area. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication between the supports and the carry player, but NIP just do not seem to be on the same page this game. Like, I thought maybe the draft was the issue, but maybe not. Illidan faking a stun. No, he missed just barely. He has level 3 lightning, though. Wait, what? He just turned around.
Could he have got that?
He definitely could have killed him. I don't know why he turned.
Yeah, that would...
He didn't lose vision, did he?
Maybe Illidan's just giving a little bit of mercy.
Hey, maybe.
He's, you know, he says, right, I've already got 6 kills against you guys. Let's kind of lay off a bit.
I think he might have lost vision. I'm not 100% on that, but...
Oh, Limp versus Lil here at the bottom rune, and oh, it's a haste rune. He's going to try and chase that one. He's going to give it a few punches. Seal Kid is there on the Rubik though, to force the Wyvern to back off. But I don't know, man. It's looking a little bit grim for NIP. Obviously, their saving grace at the moment is Era's still farming pretty well.
Oh, the stun lands. Lil doesn't have his Arctic burn though.
I might have just jinxed him there. I think I jinxed him.
Damn it, Owen. You had one job. Don't be biased.
NIP's one saving grace is now dead. Oh, there comes out the blast from the Wyvern, and Phobos is there with the 1-2.
They're not even going to be able to get a kill, are they?
This is
just ugly. This is so... And Limp's going to die too behind his tower. Oh my.
Oh, handy. Oh.
I don't know what to say anymore. Okay, they're going to kill G. They're going to kill him.
There we go. Yes, come on, boys. You got to kill.
Thank God.
Well, that's something. Jonasson fan. He's got 900 gold on top of the Tranquils, so he's halfway, well, just under halfway towards the Blink Dagger, but still, this is... VP are looking very strong today.
I gotta say, the way that they're moving around the map has been on point. Like, they just understand the limitations of their heroes so well, and Phobos just seems like he's got to enjoy playing Bounty, because anybody who plays a hero this well just likes the hero, and it's fun to watch a player who gets something that they really enjoy playing.
Oh, absolutely. Phobos has been incredibly on point. 4 kills, 1 assist so far, 7.5 minutes into the game. He's been all over the place. Bottom lane, they're going in on Illidan, but Illidan, look how much damage he's kicking out on the AoE. It's not quite enough. They will find the Seal Kid kill with the help of Winter Wyvern, but they've lost Illidan. They'll lose Lil as well here on the Wyvern, so it is a 2-for-1. Era and Hansken both incredibly low, and one of those points where you're kind of like, where's Phobos? You know, that was a perfect Phobos situation if he was about, but at the moment, Bounty Hunter just looking for some action on the top lane against Lim. Here we go with the track. Maybe think twice about diving this one, as there will be a TP in from Seal Kid to scare it off. So as we are seeing NIP get some more kills on the board.
Well, I don't want to alarm you, but Limp doesn't even have boots. And they're going to get towered up.
He gets the Dream Coil onto 2 here. Overgrowth will catch Limp as he orbs out, so the holding damage is still there. FNG, the very angry tree, chasing this one down. Limp with a phase shift. Now we had TP in from Era, trying to turn this onto FNG with the Rocket Barrage, but FNG just goes under the cover of nature's guys, backs himself out. They did lose the Rubik, and with the double damage on G, they very well will look to lose the tower here as well, as it doesn't look like NLP are going to be able to stop this. Hansken and Era thinking about going in on this, but Phobos is there, salving up, bottling up as well. Tower goes down, G on the bristleback able to claim himself that bonus gold. 9 minutes in, again, the top 3 net worth, all belonging to the side of Virtus.Pro. This is pretty much as hard as a game for the side of NIP as the first one was.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. They might be able to... No, never mind. Jonas decides to turn around. I was going to say, if the Axe gets a Blink Dagger, they could potentially turn it, because their team fight with Coil, Blink Initiation from the Axe, and also Gyrocopter is really strong. Like, their damage is there. They're just getting picked apart in the laning phase. Like, every single maneuver that VP is making, it just seems like NIP aren't prepared at all. Like, how are they having multiple heroes being dove behind tier 2 towers and no one is reacting? Like, the supports need to be on their game. It's going to happen again, isn't it? Yep. Yep.
He'll pop the cooldown down, but the Leech Seed is onto him. Phobos will get very low, does get healed up by the Wyvern. Era's actually still alive here, maybe looking to turn this one around. Will find the bounty hunter. FNG with the overgrowth though finds Era. FNG will be able to walk it off, and G suddenly turned up. He kills Hansken. Limp throws down the Dream Coil and the Waning Rift onto G. G will just look to TP out. Jonasson fan was thinking about getting close enough for the Berserker's call, but wouldn't have been able to make it in time there. So Well, one of the better fights for NIP we've seen this game. They do find 2 kills in return for the 2 deaths on their side.
That was one of the most dangerous heroes to dive, though. Gyrocopter has the single highest damage output of any hero right now on NIP. And you try to dive with no creeps as well. Like, that was probably the best case scenario for NIP to turn around and get some kills, and they still just went even. It wouldn't have even been a good trade if Phobos hadn't been one of the heroes who died first, because he would have been able to track another hero, and then G would have gotten that kill, and it would have still been a win for VP, even though they were diving into tier 2. So, still a little bit of work for NIP to do here.
He's got his blink.
Yeah, he's got his blink. Yeah. That's the big thing is, unlike last game where Jonas was kind of just dying all over the place, he's kind of the shining hope, I feel, for NIP, as having his blink dagger at still sub 11 minutes.
Limp.
Oh my. All right. He just exploded.
Jonas and Van will TP into the tower. There'll be a cooldown that was going to catch down Illidan, and with the Dragon Slave, they will bring down the Leshrac now. FNG trying to turn one around. There's Overgrowth again. This spell coming out every team fight and destroying the side of NIP. There'll be a buyback from Lina. G's found a double kill. It's going to be a triple kill as he'll clear up Jonas and Fan as well. Can they kill the Bristleback? Not Sealkid there. Takes a shuriken to the face. He'll go down. Error, he's going to start to run away now from G as he just turns straight back into the fight. He wants to kill this Gyrocopter. Error will look to TP out. Will just make it away. It's Hansken left alone here by this tier 1. G, is he going to look to dive this? He's going to play it safe. But again, let's have a look at the fight recap there up Weapons. What are we saying? 2 for 4 with a buyback from one of the heroes on NIP. That's not great.
No, it's not. And this is another thing too, is the Bounty Hunter and the Bristleback synergize so well in this draft because you cannot outrun the Bristleback. He can kite you around forever because nobody on NIP has any way of chasing except for 1 blink, and that's on Axe. Gonna see a stun here on the Illidan just to get Hansken a little bit farther away. But they don't have a way of disengaging, and G can kite them forever. He can just kill them with quills.
Illidan's gone straight in. He continues to chase it. He might throw away his life here. Illidan went very deep there.
Maybe a little ham.
Okay, all right, Phobos and FNG here. Phobos turns his attention towards Sealkid with a Leech Seed as well from FNG. They should be able to pick down Rubik. Oh no, still alive on the call, actually catching Phobos. Rocket Barrage, well, there's your dunk. Sealkid's not gone down. G has turned up the fight now. He'll look to clean up the mess that VP have started. There's a Dream Call onto Lil and FNG. Error will simply TP himself out. No, he doesn't get away. It's a double kill for G as he picks him up as well. So, I mean, that was a case of Phobos and Illidan going a little bit ham, but G was there to kind of recover. A little bit of a boo-boo, and now they might find more. Hansken and Limp, they walk into the Wyvern and the Bristleback. Laguna Blade will blow up the Icy Dragon, but G, with the goo onto Hansken and the Quill Spray stacking up, FNG turns around the corner and Hansken walks into a very, very scary situation. He goes down, Limp trying to run away from G, orbs towards the tower. Sealkid's there, can he stop this Bristleback? I don't think he can. He's got a telekinesis for the time being, but G's ready to continue to chase. FNG moving forward with the drop, they'll find the Leech Seed. Sealkid, he'll steal the spell, but he's going to get punished for his thievery. He goes down. It's a godlike streak for G here, 13.5 minutes in. Game 1 was Illidan's turn to shine. It looks like it's G's turn in Game 2.
I don't know what NIP are supposed to do. Like, they need to be together as all 5 all the time. Are they going to be able to find him here? They need a way to... Oh, Arctic Burn
how many seconds?
5 seconds. Oh. He can fly into the trees. They know he doesn't have any mana.
They're going to go for this, aren't they?
Yep. Oh, God. No, wait, what? It didn't see him. He was right next to him.
It doesn't give the flying vision, does it? So you'd have to go straight over.
Oh, my. All right, well.
That was unlucky. Well, lucky
for Limp, yeah.
Oh, he's going to have to change his underwear after that one. 22 for 10 here between the 2 sides. And there's going to be a smoke up from NIP. They're going to walk into G, who's got an Invis rune. So smoke unsuccessful.
Yeah.
Or maybe they put down the sentry and G actually hanging around. He's quite tanky.
He's also got living armor.
That was he's still alive.
He doesn't care. He really doesn't care.
It goes down now, but he did bring down the Rubik. Now FNG coming in with the Overgrowth. Onto Jonas and Fan and Error. FNG, where's his backup? Where's his backup? It's on its way, and there we go. With the Winter Curse holding it in place. Jonas and Fan taking a lightning bolt to the face. Limp getting low as well. Jonas and Fan will fall here. There's 3 heroes down so far on the side of NIP. Jonas and Fan buys back. Limp loses his life. Error just running away from Illidan. Trying to do the best he can to keep himself alive. Throws down the cooldown, but the Gyro's going to die. It's a triple kill for your Leshrac. Leshrac indeed. Jonas and Fan trying to bring down the pony.
but he's going to get healed up, frozen up by his teammate. Lil there with the backup. Silkid telekinesis onto Leshrac, but he will die. He will finally die. Oh, there's a Dokon to Phobos. Okay, they've killed 4. Maybe they can look for Lil as well. Blinking forward. They might find Winter Wyvern here also. He's tanking up with the living armor.
Fly away, bird.
Fly.
Oh, those trees are already broken.
No, they'll just walk around and dunk him. Jonas Fang gets himself a double kill. Oh, okay, G's turned up. G's turned up, and he's not happy.
Yep,
he's really not happy.
Oh, stun. All right, they get him out. Okay.
Jukes the lights. Yeah.
That wasn't bad. It wasn't horrible.
And Hanskin? I think he's juked him. He's not
Everyone from both teams died, apparently, according to the fight recap, by the way.
It was a bloodbath, Andy.
Everyone died. It's like we're watching Game of Thrones. Everyone just dies.
All right, come on, Andy. Spoilers. Spoilers, Andy. G. They're chasing him down here. Limporb's forward. The cooldown was used, but they're not going to catch anyone here. NIP and... Well, arguably, NIP, they are coming back into this game, and it kind of feels like VP just making a bit too brash plays sometimes.
They're just having a bit of fun, I think, honestly. They realize that they're very far ahead. I mean, just look at the way that they're running. They're just running at them.
Oh, look at those shuriken bounces. Ping, ping, pong, pong. Error. He turns around. It's going to be his last, or maybe he can bring down Phobos. Ooh, just find the kill onto Phobos there with the help of Puck. With the Waning Rift as well, they're bringing them very low. The call onto 3 as well. They're going to find Illidan. They're going to maybe be able to bring down FG. No, he's too tanky with G here as well. They've lost 3 on the side of NIP. It's another absolute mess on the battlefield. But VP do come on top of that one. And let's have a look at the overall graph difference. We did just see it now, weapons as it started kicking a little bit more the swing round. It's not much of a swing back. As you said, VP still very comfortable in terms of gold. XP is only 3,000, which isn't massive, but it's a lead that's been consistent for pretty much the whole game for VP so far.
They're just going like full non-stop aggression, just using their track kills. And the funny part about it is that when the rocket barrage went off on Phobos, FNG actually ran away. He's like, nope, I'm not going to tank this with you. You're just going to die. And instead of getting maybe a couple more track kills, they ended up not getting quite as much. And even being a 2 for 3, VP barely pulled ahead in terms of experience and gold exchange during that fight. But it's 47 kills in a 17-minute game. I think no matter who wins, the people watching win.
Indeed, this is the kind of Dota that we all know and love. Well, I say we all know. There's been an absolute...
Well, this is CIS Dota at its finest.
It is indeed.
This is we will run at you, and we will run at you until the game is over.
And it doesn't matter if we lose people. No, we're just going to go for it anyway because we love it. And Jonas and Fan is going to look to try and blink on anyone here. Now Phobos backing off, and so does Illidan. For all members of the side of NIP around this bottom tier 2. 18 minutes in, it's still very, very early days, but the game feels so much older. Bristleback, he's got a Crimson Guard, Hooded Defiance. He's getting to the point where it's going to be very, very hard to bring down.
Yeah, once it gets the pipe up, also keep in mind they buffed it to give that 10% extra reduction to everyone on the team, so the magic resistance is also going to be very, very helpful. The gyro is mainly the reason why they're having such a hard time, like just steamrolling. But once the pipe is finished, I think it'll be a bit easier for them, and they're just going to go ahead and give the Aegis to the Leshrac, who is probably one of the squishier heroes on the team right now.
Yeah, I mean, 8.5 minutes in G as well. Once he's got the Warpath stacks up to 6, and with the Vlad Zora being provided by Phobos, he's punching at about 270 per hit. That's a lot of right-click damage.
It's not bad. Not bad when it's only 19 minutes into the game.
Error. He's going to drop the cooldown. There'll be a telekinesis from the high ground, but Error will fall here. NIP unable to find anything in reaction to that little engagement. And they will lose the tier 2 here in the mid lane to die.
It's going to be very hard to stop this high ground push coming out from VP, especially when your gyrocopter is dead. That is maybe the one hero outside of Axe who you do not want to die before the high ground siege really begins. But G again, frontlining here, just tanking up the tower, doesn't really care about anything.
You do now have the 2 blinks on Sealkid, and of course also on the Puck, on them. So maybe these are the comeback blinks. Maybe they can look to jump
They need to go quick. They can't let the tower die. That's going to be a really big problem, because then you can have a much better concave on the high ground, and it's much harder for the Axe to find a good blink. But without going in already, it's already much harder for Jonas to find his jump.
And Pike is going to get popped preemptively there, just to try and force
the shuriken. Good God.
Around.
It hits so hard. 375 magic damage.
Ooh, Limp goes in now, gets the Waning Rift onto 2. Crimson Guard will be popped straight away. There's going to be a very nice cooldown onto 4 of them, but they're still alive on the side of VP. Seal Kick getting low. He will fall here. Jonas and Fan to go as well. 2 heroes down on NIP. They will buy back here on the Rubik. Era getting low. G finishes him off. G has to back himself up. Will pop the charges. Keeps himself out of harm's way. As a 3-for-1 trade there with a buyback from the Rubik. It looks like they might lose Hansken here as well. We'll get the Laguna Blade out to Illidan, but Illidan getting healed up here by the Wyvern. Will survive for it all. So a 4-for-1 trade there with NIP buying back on the Rubik, and they lose their racks.
Yeah, I think it's getting close to GG territory again. I really don't know how they're going to stop this. Like, they didn't even get the Aegis off Illidan. He just got out of that fight with 4,800 gold. He's going to go buy like a complete item. He just buys bots. I mean, what do you do? Honestly, if you're NIP, what do you do? I think you can maybe look for a smoke, but finding a hero that you can actually take down on VP is so difficult, because at this point, they have Guardian Greaves on FNG. Like, they have every single AoE item that you can possibly have at this point in the game. They have Pipe, they have Crimson Guard, they have Vlad's, they have Guardian Greaves, they have Tree Armor, they have Cold Embrace. Like, they're so hard to kill.
They might catch out Lil here with the Waning Rift, but he's already got off the old Q and heads up to the high ground. He's safe and sound for the time being, and now the backup from VP here comes in. FNG, Overgrowth onto 3. Hansken melting here to the AoE damage of Illidan. Lightstrike Array will catch out the pony, but the heal from Wyvern helping him throughout all that magical damage. Limp gets a Dream Coil onto 2. He's going to be able to face you for the time being. He's still alive. Nice call onto 2 here from Jonas and Fan. Finds the dunk onto Illidan, but Illidan, of course, still with the Aegis, ready to come back for round 2. Leech Seed gets dropped onto the Axe. FNG taking a bit of damage from the Rocket Barrage from Air. Laguna Blade onto Illidan from Hansken. He gets healed up again. This Wyvern doing absolute work here for the side of Virtus.Pro. Polar. Jonas looking desperately for a dunk. He's not going to find it. He goes down. Double stun from Illidan. Finishes them both on as well with a double kill. G's going to find the Gyrocopter. 4 heroes dropping to the deck on the side of NIP. And VP this time, they lose absolutely nothing. GG, well played. It's called 22 minutes in. I think this is potentially the quickest series we've seen in League play.
It was about 37, 38 minutes in total between both games. Of course, it's not including like ad breaks and stuff, but in actual play time, it was around 37 to 38 minutes. And it was a bloodbath. It was just absolute, just non-stop fighting from minute 0 in both games. So I really do think that VP, the way that they ran the Bristleback and the heroes that NIP had, the only person who was really good at evading him at all was the Puck.
Yeah.
And the Puck didn't even really have that good of a game. Like, he got ganked a couple of times. They left FNG in the top lane to get his farm to make sure he got level 6 and 7 quickly. The Tree Armor came in huge. She was tower diving tier 2s at like 9 minutes into the game, killing the Puck. Like, everything was just a total mess for NIP. They had a lot of teamfight potential, and even as far behind as they were in the game, they showed these little glimmers of, oh yeah, when we get our abilities synergized together, we can actually find some fights and get some good kills. But the times between those points, it was just death all the time. And Lil apparently hates ending games with items. As previously, he bought a bunch of mangoes, but this time he doesn't have anything.
Not even the mangoes.
He won the game without a single item.
There we go.
Impressive.
That's something for the stat boys. I'm sure they love it when players mess around with their builds at the end of the games, you know. Affects the win rates, but a little there with a bit of a little joke. But VP Polar, 2-0 taking the series, and as I was saying, pretty much the most dominant League series performance we've seen from any side against NIP. And well, it really is back to the drawing board for NIP. I mean, if you had to give advice to NIP, what would you say? Have they got to rethink the way they drafted? Was it the lanes? Is it the way they played?
I don't think
the weak point?
This draft wasn't that bad. I think that the Bristleback kind of became a really huge problem for them because they focused a lot on like switching their lanes from top to bottom. So at the beginning of the game, we saw the lanes shape up and they wanted to do an aggro tri-lane from VP. And the VP were like, this lane's not really working out so well, let's go bottom instead, we'll make sure Illidan gets his farm. And then Nip followed them there, instead of trying to focus on the Bristleback mid, who was pretty much free farming against the Puck. Because in that lane, both heroes just farm. There's nothing you can really do. But during the mid game, before the Lina had levels and before Era had levels, you don't have burst, so you can't kill Bristle. And there's Tree Armor and Cold Embrace, so they just start fighting with 5 mana. As soon as DK Phobos gets track, it's just go non-stop, and they just did not stop fighting until the game was over.
I mean, you can certainly see why they banned out Bounty Hunter in the first game, because the track gold was pretty big. And Phobos's plays, especially at the start, I mean, he ends up 6 for 5 for 12, but I think most of those kills were at the beginning, because he found a lot of action across the lanes, and he was doing a lot of work on his Bounty Hunter. But
that's it for the first series. It's potentially going to be a little bit of a while until we get the second series. We might be able to move it forward.
It's not even 8 o'clock.
It's not even 8 o'clock. So do bear with us. I'm sure Shiva and Shane will fill you in on any changes to the schedule. But for the time being, from myself and Andy, we'll have a little bit of a break. We'll send you over some commercials and then straight over back to the host. We'll see you guys later for Game 2, Series 2.